What's up guys, welcome back to another Anime Paradox video, and in this video we will be spending 24 hours playing the new Anime Paradox update. In this video we will be getting all the new secret portal units and also manage to pull the 0.1% trait on arguably the best unit from the update. So make sure to watch the video till the end to see what I got. Alright, so the update dropped and they added a new Ragnarok shop which has Buddha, Wukong, and Poseidon here. And they added a new game mode which is a Siege game mode. There's nothing new in the shop, but if you go to Siege, there will be a new Siege game mode which is called Ragnarok. So I managed to AFK macro the Siege game mode for like 6 hours, I'd say, and this is all the portals I got. Out of curiosity, I did one of the secret portal and managed to get Hades. Look what I got on him. We only spent 3 rerolls to get this Eternal. That might be the luckiest trait rerolling I've ever done in my whole entire life. That's insane. Alright, so before we evolve him, let's get his stats up. Of course, we're gonna look for a Z or a Z plus on the damage. On range, nah, since we have Eternal, we don't need anything good on the range, because he basically attacks the whole map. Guys, I didn't record when I pulled Eternal on him because I was on my iPad. And I was just re-rolling traits on it, right? And then on my third re-roll, basically got Eternal. And we have full Z's. Okay, so we need essences and eye patch. I believe, yeah, I bought the eye patch from the Ragnarok shop right here. If we take a look at the Ragnarok shop, the eye patch here costs 20,000 of the new currency. And let's just evolve him right now. Okay, so we have a Hades with Eternal and all Z plus stats. So now he has 38,000 HP on placement with a 4,000 damage. That's insane. But compare that to my Song Jinwoo. Song Jinwoo has less HP and less damage. Let's just do another Hades just so we can exalt him. Alright, so now that we're in the portal, let us showcase our new Eternal Hades. Before that, let's just max out all our farm. Once we have the farm maxed out. So wait, let me read his passive real quick. So the first passive is we want to have him lose 15% of his current HP, just so he can gain that permanent buff for 35% damage and 20% SPA. Alright, looks like we can't have his HP down because he is so strong. Well, so his first passive is Vital Shackle, so every time he loses 15% of his current HP, he gains 35% damage and 20% SPA reduction permanently. That's a really good passive. For his second passive, he has Divine Physiology. While above 70% HP, Hades take 25% reduced damage. Each hit taken in the state grants him 4% damage, which is why he has that 1.2x multiplier right now from the second passive, Indomitable Will. When Hades fall below 35% HP, he gains 40% damage reduction and heals 15% of max HP. Okay, that makes him really good for the new Siege game mode, since it is a harder game mode. So let us have attack effects on. And on his fourth upgrade, he gains a new ability called Glided Daybreak. And for his next ability, he gains a new ability called Persephone Titan. And that is basically all his abilities that he gained. But look at that HP and damage. 1 second, I have to defend. Okay. So on max upgrade, he has 653,000 HP and a damage of 69,000. Keep in mind that he's not even max exalted and he has not triggered his first passive, so he could have 35% more damage than this and a 20% less SPA. So on max upgrade, he has 653,000 HP and a damage of 83,000. Alright, so we got another Hades here. And you also get 16,000 currency from doing secret portals. So I think the best way to farm the currency is by doing secret portals. Alright, now that we're back in the lobby, we're gonna exalt our Hades here. So on Ascension 1, he gains another 15% bonus HP, 15% bonus damage, and also buffs range by 10%. Okay, so we got Hades. Then the next secret portal unit that we need to get is right here, Soji Okita. Now that we're in the portal, we're gonna see how good our Hades get after one ascension. Okay, so now on his max upgrade, he has 700,000 HP with a damage of 89,000. His first passive is still not on yet, but overall, this guy is very strong because his passives, but basically this guy does more damage when you have lower HP, which is good for the new Siege game mode. Alright, so we got the new unit called Godslayer Weakened. Let's see what we need to do to evolve her. So she needs essences and the scarf evo item. Her evolve item, which is the scarf. Let's just go ahead and get that. Alright, this should do for her stats. So now let us evolve our Soji Okita. Boom. We have her evolve. We don't really want anything good on her because from what I heard, she isn't the greatest unit from the update. Honestly, I'm gonna go with Slayer. Okay, so now that we got Soji Okita and also Hades, the next unit we need to get is the China King, which is Kenshi Huang. Alright, now that we're in the portal, we can finally showcase our new unit, which is called Godslayer. She is a 3 placement, which costs 2.2 thousand yen to place down. So let's see. I'm enable the visual effects. And on placement, she is doing 1k damage with 11k HP. She only has Slayer on her, which is not the greatest trait. And let's look over her passives. So her first passive called Godslayer. Soji deals increasing damage to boss enemies the longer they remain alive on the battlefield. Gains 4% damage every 5 seconds against each active boss, max 40%. Next passive is called Ego. Any allied unit within Soji's range that deals more damage than him has their damage reduced by 20% and Soji's SPA reduced by 10%. So judging from this passive is really bad. Like you don't wanna have her in the team. Because look, if someone has more damage than your Godslayer, then their damage is gonna get reduced by 20%. Which is very bad. Her last passive is called Red Tyrant. Each attack applies Hemorrhage, causing enemies to take 15% increased damage, reducing HP regeneration by 50%, and dealing 5% max HP bleed for over 5 seconds. So yeah, I'll see you guys when I'm done with this Kenshi Huang portal. And we finally got him. We got Kenshi Huang. Alright, now that we got Kenshi Huang, let's see what we need to evolve him. So again, we have all the essences needed. And we need the blindfold, which we can buy from the Ragnarok shop. Right here, the blindfold costs 20,000 of their currency. Oh my god, take a look at that. That should be all for Kenshi Huang. Let us now evolve him. Now let's roll trades on him. Of course, we want Eternal, so let's see what we can get here. Angelic, okay, I'm gonna keep that for now. Now that we got all the new units from the secret portals, let us go to an infinite and showcase them. Alright guys, I decided to hop on Siege because the units fit more on this stage. The first unit that we were going to showcase is Death Reaper, or Hades. We managed to get Eternal on him. So on placement, he has 40,000 HP with a damage of 5.2k, which he got from his second passive. We're gonna read over his passives again. His first passive is called Vital Shackle. The first time Hades takes damage, he loses 15% of his current HP but gains 35 damage and 20% SPA reduction permanently. Single use. Second passive is called Divine Physiology. While above 70% HP, Hades takes 25% reduced damage. Each hit taken in this state grants 4% with a max of 20%. Indomitable Will. When Hades falls below 35% HP, he gains 40% damage reduction and heals 15% max HP, cooldown of 30 seconds. The next unit we're going to showcase is Kenshi Huang. So Kenshi Huang is a 3 unit placement. He costs 2,200 yen to place down. Let us get over his passives. He has 3 passive. His first passive is Key Breath. Every 6 attack empowers Kin's next ability, causing it to slow enemies by 25% and increase damage taken by 20% for 6 seconds. Okay, so he's like a good support from this passive. For his second passive, he has Army of One. For every allied unit within Ken's range, gains 4% increased damage. Bonus is capped at 32%. Okay, so he's a buff unit, basically, from his first 2 passives. Okay, for his third passive, it's called Emperor's Sight. Activate to increase critical chance by 35%. While active, Kins loses 3% of his max HP every 2 seconds. Automatically turns off after 12 seconds. For his last passive, it's called First Emperor's Sword. Kin strikes the strongest enemy within range, dealing 250% damage. Try to max him out real quick. On max upgrade, he has 216,000 HP with a damage of 15.2k. And he has an active ability called The Blade is Yours. I don't know what happened there. I don't think I know what he does, but yeah, that's The Blade is Yours. Next unit we're going to showcase is God Slayer. She is also a 3 placement unit and costs 2,200 yen to place down. 1 placement with Slayer. She has 11,000 HP with a damage of 1,000. Let us get over her passives. Her first passive is called God Slayer. Soji deals increasing damage to boss enemies the longer they remain alive on the battlefield. Gains 4% damage every 5 seconds against each active boss with a max of 40%. Second passive is called Ego. Any allied unit within Soji's range that deals more damage than him has their damage reduced by 20%, and Soji's SPA is reduced by 10%. She debuffs your strongest unit by 20% damage, but gains a minus 10% SPA, which isn't really worth it unless you have Eternal. Moving on to her third passive, it's called Red Tyrant. Each attack applies Hemorrhage, causing enemies to take 15% increased damage, reducing HP regeneration by 50%, and dealing 5% of max HP bleed over 5 seconds. So yeah, that was all the Secret Portals unit that I got from Siege. In my opinion, the best Secret Portal unit from the update was Hades. But that's it for today's video. If you guys enjoyed the video, don't forget to leave a like and also subscribe. And also join the Discord, as I will be hosting giveaways in the future. So make sure you guys are in there. But yeah, that is it for me, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.